Hey guys, what's up? Just Connor here. Hope you're having an amazing day as per usual. In today's video, we're going to talk about a very frequently and commonly asked question that I get in the DMs and sales calls and what have you, which is, Connor, how long, honestly and truthfully, from your experience, how long does it take to be successful in making money online or high ticket sales as a career in the online education and information industry? Today, we're going to be answering that question. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in, okay? The first thing to understand here, guys, is the overarching philosophy. You must first understand that this process takes time and it's not going to happen overnight, right? It's going to look something very similar to like this straight line here, and then you're going to have an inflection point that looks like this, right? It's going to look like that, and this is where you start, right? This is point A. Okay, hang on. This is point A, and this is point B, right? Very important to understand this. Now, most people severely underestimate what they can that they can achieve in 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, and they overestimate what they can do in one. And so it's the same thing when it goes to shorter time frames and time spans to longer time spans as well, and time frames. This journey here, so let's call this 0 and this call this, 10K a month, right? This span of time usually could take anywhere between, I would say, on a rough estimate, probably 3 to 12 months, right? That journey can probably take around that time. Now, granted and given, people can take a lot less time to do that and you can get there a lot faster. But a very realistic outcome, if you have no experience, you're brand new to sales, you don't have the personal development, you're not as personally developed that you need to be, you haven't been in this industry for a long enough period of time, if you're completely brand new and you are a beginner, it's most likely going to take you this amount of time. Not the 30, 60, 90 days that a lot of the marketers will tell you. And I can tell you this from experience. The sooner that you hear this, the sooner that you learn from this, the better, right? Most people stop at this point here, right? They give up whether or not they invest in a mentor, they get a course, they get a training, they get blah, 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 blah. They mostly give up at this point. Now, you guys would know by now, we already have a very simple equation, which is inputs equal outputs. And so the quality and the quantity of the inputs define the output that you attain. But first, you need to understand what the output is in the first place to actually craft inputs to get the goal that you're looking for, which is ideally, for most people watching my YouTube channel and watching this video, is 10K a month, okay? Ideally, 3 to 12 months is usually a typical time frame, but you need to take your mind out of the micro and think more of the macro. If you're committing to this, more than likely for the most of you, you don't just want to do this for 3 months to 12 months. You want to do this for probably 2 to 3 years. Now, some people, you're not going, in fact, most people watching this YouTube video will not be doing sales your entire rest of your life. Just a natural fact. Unless you are obsessed with the game and you love it, then you're probably not going to be doing it for the rest of your life. 2 to 3 years is a very good time frame to aim to get the skills that you need to do to transition into something else a little bit later on, okay? Most people think so short term of 30, 60, 90 days. You really have to be committed to this process in this journey if you want to have success. And this is talking from someone who's been doing this for 4, nearly 5 years and going now, probably just ticking over 5 now. I've been in this make money online game and this industry for about 7 years. Moving towards actual 5 years of focused effort of actually being in the trenches and doing the stuff. Now, I'm going to show you this diagram here in a second and why it's so important. It's from Sam Ovens. But the thing that I want you to understand before we get to this point here, right, before we go down here, is that most people is a really, really important thing that you need to understand. Most people don't see this part, right? They only see this part. When you see the, people who have achieved in 3 months, 4 months, whatever it is, 30, 60, 90 days. When they've achieved these great results in such a short time frame, it's the accumulation of effort beforehand. Most people really, really miscommunicate this and understand this. Don't believe that will be you. There's a very low chance that you will be able to get that 30, 10, 15, 20K a month in the next 30, 60, 90 days. It's possible, but it's unlikely. Most people see basically is kind of like the Instagram dynamic, right? Where you see all the flashy stuff, all the highlights, you see the winning that people do now, but you don't see the endless years of focus, energy, effort, and sacrifice and resources that were committed to get that outcome that you currently see on Instagram today, on YouTube today. How I got to the position that I am in is you are seeing the come to fruition of 4 years of focused effort on the one thing, not deviating, not doing anything different. 4 years, $50,000 was spent on sales education directly, 160, I think, collectively now on my own self education, years, sacrifices. Most people see this. They see where I'm at now. They see where all these other people online are at now. But you're missing the key part here, because comparison is the biggest thief of joy. And most people look just at the highlights, not at the years of sacrifice. Most people, 99.9% of successful people that I've met in my entire life, have had years and years and years of sacrifices, mistakes, relationships lost, whatever it is, to get to where they want to go. But most people just want to look at the pretty now highlights, right? It's important to understand it will take you a long time to get to where you want to go. And the sooner that you realize it, that it's not going to be just a year journey, it's going to be 2-3 years, the better it will serve you. Because again, the reason why most people fail and stop at this point here is because they have this short-term thinking, micro thinking mindset. They're not thinking the macro, they're not thinking the longer term. Because I find this a lot in youth, a lot of youthful people, a lot of young people think in the very short term. I want to make money now. I want to do this now. I want to do this now. You have to expand your mind and think more in the longer term, again, rather than the shorter term. So that's that. And so again, just to really come back to that point, 3 to 12 months is typically the time it takes for a complete beginner to get to that magical 10K a month milestone. Yes, it can happen faster with some variables, but this is just the reality of it. This is through my experience and how I've seen hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of others unfold through this process, through my own training program and many other training programs. This is a statistic that I've seen on average that typically happens when people actually get the success they're looking for, given they have the right strategy, the right mentor, and the right effort. Now, this is really, really important. I saw this diagram from a guy named Sam Ovens many, many plus years ago. And this has really stuck in my mind ever since. And it has happened and actualized in my life time and time and time again. You can see on the left axis, you have memory, the bottom, you have time, and the right, you have effect. You guys have to understand what will happen, and why I mentioned, there's going to be this inflection point over here where it'll seem like everything's happened magically and all at once. Guys, nothing is a coincidence. Everything is a calculated result of actions over time with a strategy, right? This is how it all happens. If you are overweight, it is the time and duration of you putting a certain amount of actions, inputs into the system to get that result. That is just simply the reality of things. If you're not where you want to be, it is because you have not put in the right quality or frequency of inputs to create and change your financial trajectory and your future when it comes to making more money, right? Making money online. Now, what will happen is, because most people, like I mentioned, it's like this, and then it's exponential growth. This happened to me more times than I can count, especially for like when I started doing setting, when I did sales, everything like that. I won't go too much in depth because that would make this video way too long. But if you want to understand that, go look at my honest experience video way down, one of my first posts on my YouTube channel. It'll give you a good insight to my story there. But long story short, what will happen is that you will put in all this effort and it will seemingly feel like you're not getting any results, and then it'll happen all at once. It's the result of the compounding effect, right? The law of compounding. All your results will come out at once and it will seem like a coincidence, but it's in fact not. It's basically a mathematical representation of the inputs creating the outputs. But most people can't stick this one thing, time, right? Most people struggle to continue putting the effort and the inputs over time. And that's why most people fail. Your memory will actually disappear from what you have done to create the effect that you have today. It'll feel like you're not moving towards anything, but you actually are, especially if you have the right strategy. Even imperfect action, even sometimes the wrong action, right, can sometimes put you in a better direction than none. It can sometimes move you a lot further than if you were to do nothing. And so that's pretty much it, guys. Really wanted to explain that because a lot of people really, really get this expectation and timeline of making money online and success with high ticket sales completely wrong. And that's why most people fail. It's not because they have the wrong mentor or the wrong strategy, the wrong effort, all this type of stuff. It's simply because they didn't do it for long enough. And that's why most people aren't successful in high ticket sales or anything making money online, is because they can't do it for a longer duration period of time. Because what do we know nowadays? We've got TikTok, we've got Instagram, short-term dopamine. Everybody wants things now, 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 now. And the moment it gets hard, the moment it feels like you're not getting results, you stop. For myself personally, I wanted it as bad as I wanted to breathe. You have to understand that. I wanted it as bad as I wanted to breathe. Nobody could stop me, and I had an unwavering belief, a delusional belief that I would be successful. I didn't know anything about what I'm telling you about right now, or any type of resources that the guys have inside the RSA training, right? I had nothing close. Yet I continued to persevere. I continued to show up, and I continued to be consistent. Heading into 2024, you need to adopt this mindset, and you need to have this self-awareness to understand that this journey will take time. It will not happen overnight. And if you want to make shit happen, you just have to keep being consistent. That's it. Consistency wins. I don't care what anybody else tells you. That is the way that you will win. Okay? So, without further ado, guys, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Hopefully you got some valuable insights. Hopefully you learned something. And I will see you in the next video.